So what, it's after 8 p.m. and I'm not on my couch wearing elastic-waisted pants? Who am I? Someone without crippling anxiety and a will to live? My name is Emily. I am an introvert, like 2 bad haircuts away from being a shut-in introvert. The best part about being an introvert is that you don't need anyone to entertain you. The worst part is right now. This is my worst nightmare. But I am willing to endure it for your laughter in order to make up for the encouragement I never got as a child. Quelle surprise, I'm also an anxious person who remembers 2 words of high school French. Thank you for catching that. And the upside to anxiety is that I plan for a lot of different situations. For example, I have 2 adult sisters, and I have a code phrase to use for them in case one of them gets kidnapped and they're trapped in the trunk of like a Chrysler LeBaron. And they have access to a cell phone, but they can't call 911. No, call your English major sister. Maybe I can talk to the perp about iambic pentameter and bore him to death. Yeah, and side note, I don't even use the code phrase correctly. I will call them if I'm worried, and I will say, do you need to use the code phrase? New plan, guys, just don't get taken to a second location. Sometimes this anxiety can veer into paranoid territory. Have you guys seen the movie from the 90s? It's a scary movie, When a Stranger Calls Back. So for those of you who don't know, Carol Kane is the terrorized babysitter. It's like 5 years later, and she lives in like a loft-like apartment, and there's one scene that has haunted me to this day. So she's got like exposed brick walls, and the killer paints himself to blend in with the walls. Sorry if we haven't seen this, but you might want to leave now. So he blends in with the walls, and then he peels himself off to attack her. So more than once in my adult life, I have run my hand across my feeling for noses. It would appear Dr. Castillo and I have a few more things to unpack in our next session. Yet, despite these issues, I am actually a productive member of society and gainfully employed. I know we're all surprised. And working in corporate America is like being in porn. There's a lot of faking it. Emily, how was your weekend? Oh, good. Just hung out with some friends, ran some errands. Definitely did not sit in my pajamas for hours watching old JoJo music videos. And I know what it's like to be in porn because I watched a documentary on Netflix. I'm really concerned about Bonnie from Oklahoma. There's a lot of trauma in those overalls. But when you're growing up, people tell you, oh, you can be anything you want to be because you'll be at work sitting on the toilet pinning inspirational quotes to get through the day doesn't match with the hot pink dolphin on the Lisa Frank folder. Yeah. I feel like growing up is like that Airbnb listing in Austin. Like the pictures look great, but until you're actually there, you don't see the pubes in the tub. Unless you're Bonnie. Sorry, I am taken, and not in the Liam Neeson sense. I'm married, and my husband is a high school science teacher. He is a freaking cherub in a lab coat. He's honestly the nicest person I've ever met, and so naturally, I am extremely suspicious. No one's that nice, unless they're hiding something. Like murder. Yeah, I am 70% sure that he is a secret serial killer. Look out, guys, it could be one of you tonight. But he also empties the dishwasher more than I do, so I kind of don't care. But when on my deathbed, I want him to whisper 2 things into my ear. Number 1, you don't look fat. And number 2, you were right all along. I've murdered 87 hookers in the tri-state area. And with my dying breath, I will say, just promise me one thing, that you will only use the good pictures of me on Dateline. And that Keith Morrison is the host. And then I die standing up in this scenario like Hannibal Lecter. So I took my dog to the dermatologist recently. Or in other words, I was white privileging. And did I mention that he's a rescue? Yeah, not all heroes wear capes. Yeah, some of us wear cardigans. So Dudley Fordhill has always had a lot of problems with allergies and chronic ear infections, and so the doctor is examining him, and she's taking scrapings, and then she gives me the news that no mother wants to hear. I think we should remove his right ear. Okay, I will take a leave of absence from work. I will learn doggy sign language. I will be the Annie Sullivan to his Kappa Helen Keller. But his ears are his most adorable feature. They're like little two floppy tortilla chips of joy. Plus, I don't have time to Photoshop like a single ear onto like every picture. And do you know how much it costs to Van Gogh your own dog? $4,000. Yeah. Now, if Dudley were still a puppy, I would maybe think about selling some eggs to make it work. Dudley's 10, so cost per wear. You're keeping your original parts, buddy. $4 grand can buy mommy a lot of cardigans and Lisa Frank folders.